When I bought my house 5 years ago, I never imagined that a swimming pool could become the center of a war. It wasn't anything fancy, just a clean, well-kept in-ground pool in the backyard, surrounded by a 6-foot fence and some modest landscaping. But to the HOA, and especially to Karen Leathers from 3 houses down, it might as well have been a private island they weren't invited to. Karen was the kind of person who believed her personal preferences were law. From the height of your grass to the brand of your mailbox, nothing escaped her critical eye. But her vendetta with me didn't really start until I refused to register my pool with the HOA. Why would I? It's entirely on my property. It predates the HOA. I even had grandfathered permits and official city records to back it up. Still, that didn't stop the passive-aggressive notes left in my mailbox, or the fake pool safety inspections she tried to schedule. I ignored most of it, until her son got involved. Trevor was in his early 20s, fresh out of community college, and just as entitled as his mother. One afternoon, I caught him walking around my backyard, checking the fence for code violations. When I confronted him, he claimed he was just doing what the HOA told him to. I told him to leave and reminded him my property wasn't HOA jurisdiction. The next day, a letter showed up claiming that my pool posed a liability and should be made accessible for HOA inspection. I responded with legal documents, photos, and a very direct email. This is private property. Stay off it. That's when things got ugly. 2 weeks later, I came home from work to find my gate wide open. Towels were on the chairs. There were soda cans on the pool deck. And Trevor was in the shallow end, taking a dip like he owned the place. I lost it. "What the hell are you doing here?" I shouted. Trevor, without even flinching, said, "Just making sure it's safe. HOA protocol." I pointed to the clearly posted, "Private property, no trespassing" sign. "This is illegal, Trevor. You're trespassing." "It's for community safety," he said, smirking. "Karen said we can override if there's a risk." That was it. I called the non-emergency police line, filed a formal complaint, and changed the lock on the gate that night. I also installed a second camera pointing directly at the pool gate. The next weekend, I hosted a small barbecue for some friends. While we were setting up, Karen marched down the sidewalk in one of her ridiculous wide-brimmed hats, waving her phone and yelling something about unauthorized gatherings. I smiled, waved, and went back to grilling. That night, the camera caught Trevor trying to jump the fence again. He didn't make it. He slipped, fell, and limped off holding his knee. I printed the footage and dropped it in the HOA complaint box. The final straw came on a sunny Saturday afternoon, 2 weeks after the fence jumping incident. I was enjoying a quiet day at home when I noticed someone rattling my pool gate. I looked at the monitor. Trevor again. He had bolt cutters this time. I grabbed my phone, went out onto the deck, and confronted him. "What do you think you're doing?" He looked up, startled but defiant. "The pool gate is illegally locked. HOA policy says—" "No," I interrupted. "You've been warned. This is trespassing. Again." He pulled out his phone. "I'm calling 911. You're illegally blocking HOA access." I raised an eyebrow. "Go ahead." He did. When the police arrived 12 minutes later, I met them calmly at the front door. I had video from 3 cameras, documentation of his past trespasses, and printed statements from my lawyer verifying my property rights. Trevor was still in the backyard when the officer walked over. I couldn't hear the conversation, but I could see his expression change from confident to confused to outright panic. Then came the handcuffs. The officers led him around the side of the house where Karen was waiting in her car, filming the whole thing on her phone. "You can't arrest him," she yelled. "He's enforcing HOA rules." One officer calmly replied, "Ma'am, he's trespassing. This is private property. We've warned him before." Karen shouted something unintelligible as Trevor was placed in the back of the squad car. After they left, I sat down in a lawn chair, opened a cold drink, and let the peace settle in. That evening, I uploaded a short video titled, "HOA Karen's son called 911 on my locked pool. Guess who left in cuffs?" It hit 50,000 views overnight. The comment section was a storm of support. The next morning, a local reporter called asking if I wanted to do a segment. I politely declined. The video said enough. As for the HOA, they've gone quiet. A legal letter from my attorney confirmed they have zero authority over my pool. Karen hasn't spoken to me since. But now, every time I look at that pool gate, I smile. Because behind it lies the symbol of something more than property rights. It's a symbol of drawing the line and holding it.